Russia is preparing for long-term confrontation with Ukraine and with us. We are not ready for what is coming our way in 4 to 5 years. Danger is moving towards us at full speed.
NATO is bracing for an uncertain future, with Secretary General Mark Rutte warning of an unprecedented era of threats that the alliance is unprepared to confront. His stark message, delivered at a Carnegie Europe event in Brussels on Thursday, urged member states to adopt a wartime mindset and significantly ramp up defense spending. Rutte painted a grim picture of the challenges ahead, emphasizing the speed at which danger is advancing towards NATO territories. He called on member states to face these threats head-on, drawing parallels between the ongoing war in Ukraine and potential risks to NATO nations.
We are not ready for what is coming our way in 4 to 5 years. Danger is moving towards us at full speed. We must not look the other way. We must face it. What is happening in Ukraine could happen here too. And regardless of the outcome of this war, we will not be safe in the future unless we are prepared to deal with danger. We can do that. We can prevent the next big war on NATO territory and preserve our way of life. This requires us all to be faster and fiercer. It is time to shift to a wartime mindset and turbocharge our defense production and defense spending.
Highlighting Moscow's military advancements, Rutte noted that Russian arms factories are operating at full capacity, producing war equipment at a pace that has surprised NATO. While the alliance's deterrence measures have worked so far, Rutte warned of the risk of being overtaken by a rapidly evolving Russian military strategy.
Meanwhile, Russian arms factories are churning out war equipment around the clock. And despite the heroic efforts of our Ukrainian friends, Russia is reconstituting its forces much quicker than we had anticipated. They are learning fast from the battlefield.
Emphasizing the urgency of the situation, Rutte pointed out that NATO's current defense expenditures, while higher than a decade ago, remain inadequate when compared to Cold War levels.
And this brings me to my main point: defense spending. It is true that we spend more on defense now than we did a decade ago. But we are still spending far less than during the Cold War, even though the threats to our freedom and security are just as big, if not bigger.
The NATO chief appealed directly to citizens, urging them to back increased defense budgets, even if it means reallocating funds from other priorities.
I know spending more on defense means spending less on other priorities. But it is only a little less. On average, European countries easily spend up to a quarter of their national income on pensions, health and social security systems. We need a small fraction of that money to make our defenses much stronger and to preserve our way of life.
In his continued push for increased defense spending, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte directed a stark message at the citizens of NATO countries, particularly those in Europe.
To the citizens of NATO countries, especially in Europe, I say, tell your banks and pension funds it is simply unacceptable that they refuse to invest in the defense industry. Defense is not in the same category as illicit drugs and pornography. Investing in defense is an investment in our security. It's a must.
Discussions on raising NATO's 2% GDP defence spending benchmark are underway, with a decision expected at a summit in The Hague in 2025. Rutte underscored the necessity of political leadership to ensure security takes precedence over short-term challenges. European allies are also examining innovative financing options to bolster defence capabilities. EU Defence Commissioner Andrius Kubilius has proposed measures such as issuing defence bonds and repurposing unused funds to address the financial gap. However, Kubilius criticised existing efforts, including the European Investment Bank's recent allocation of 6 billion euros for dual-use security systems, as insufficient. He contrasted it with the bloc's 1 trillion euros green financing initiatives, highlighting the disparity in priorities. Russia was quick to dismiss Rutte's remarks, with Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova mocking NATO's financial strategies. In an interview with TASS, Zakharova sarcastically suggested that the alliance begin by cutting pensions for former Secretaries General like Jens Stoltenberg and Javier Solana. Rutte's urgent call to action underscores the delicate position NATO finds itself in. While the alliance currently faces no direct military aggression, Rutte made it clear that it is not at peace either. His warnings underline the importance of proactive measures to avoid being caught unprepared in the years to come.